What's going on, guys? Let's get right into it. The reason why I clicked on this video is because you're looking to figure out exactly what our AI GCI growth infrastructure is. And judging off the meeting that you guys are currently watching this video, YouTube is the silver underlining. So we're going to talk about specifically how you can focus on making an additional $250,000 to over $500,000 in gross commission income by targeting homeowners directly with your YouTube funnel. So again, all of you guys are probably thinking about, okay, cool, this is something that I've heard before, and you guys have probably spent hundreds of, maybe even just thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars on the wrong, vehicles. Maybe you've spent a lot of money on Facebook. Maybe you spent a lot of money on just boosting posts, on newsletters, mailers, and just cookie cutter lead gen companies. But in this video, I'm going to give you one thing that's for sure is I'm going to completely peel back the layer on exactly what it is that we're doing to help real estate professionals finally provide and invest themselves into a turnkey solution, which becomes a one-time deployable asset in their business, which is, a funnel completely powered by AI. I mean, from the point of just advertising to your funnel, to even your ad tracking and even your call bookings as well too. You can have a completely autonomous YouTube funnel that targets homeowners and people with specific job titles and income directly for your real estate business. So again, my name is Amar. I'm the founder and CEO of InstAgents, and we've helped real estate professionals, team leaders, brokerage owners consistently scale with paid traffic and different sorts of funnels. But in the year of 2025, all we preach and the main thing that we help our clients focus on is just YouTube. So this documentation I'm going to share with you is something I've been preparing for at least 3 to 4 months now, around 90 days just to lay out the infrastructure and the content, just so I can make sure I can provide you guys all of the frameworks and trainings for absolutely free. But in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed run the entire document so you guys understand exactly who this is for and who it isn't for. So again, this documentation is for real estate professionals that are already doing a minimum of at least 1 to 2 deals per month and are at least covering a minimum of around $70,000 to $100,000 in GCI per year. So if you haven't figured out a way to crack just that revenue model first, I would highly suggest looking into building a better moat around the business and getting some organic assets in place. But if you're extremely aggressive and you want to figure out exactly how to add an additional quarter to maybe $500,000 in GCI, you've come to the right place, because this is a very aggressive and a robust system that requires you to buy into your scale. And we'll talk about that in a moment over here as well. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scroll down and kind of walk you through exactly what type of things we're going to be covering in this entire playbook. Okay, we'll cover why it exists and why realtors are losing deals and literally dissolving themselves without being omnipresent with all these social media platforms. We'll talk about the current realtor growth problem literally here in 2025 and how we're going to be able to solve it. And then second, we're going to cover the 3 pillars of this entire GCI growth infrastructure, which is literally the main 3 departments and assets you need in your business in order to guarantee consistent inbound listing or buyer appointments, for the most part, listing appointments for your business. We're going to also cover YouTube ads for realtors, funnels, our AI super executive. We're working on some super intelligence, which is already pretty much available for independent agents and brokerages too, which we'll be covering here. And then we'll be covering some case studies as well too, and just deployment lists, just so you can actually fast track some of your progress and actually implement these things without having to just consume all this information. You'd be like, hey, you know what? Amar and his team didn't give any actionable information or tangible material for this video. So my job is to literally give you guys as much information and actionable steps so you can stop staying on the skeptical side of investing into yourself, which is time, allocating resources, and actually take the front and do things yourself, because you can still get results. But of course, there are a set level of people that they want to skip all this process and they want to work directly with us. So our job for this is this entire training is to eventually have you guys work with us. If you guys do choose to work with us and you guys find that you guys need help with implementing this and you guys are very confident in it, we're more than happy to figure it out. But for the most part, I want to be constantly giving back to the marketplace. In 2025 has been a very difficult year for a lot of real estate professionals. I'd say by far probably one of the most lowest producing years in the last 20 years, I think, or 25 years. And for the most part, this training is going to be covering and peeling back all these layers for you. So getting right into it, why do we actually focus on YouTube and why you should steer away from softwares and subscriptions? So I've helped out around 380 plus active agents and teams in the last 4.5 years with my real estate practice, in advertising business as well. And what I've realized is that software-based companies I'll just say it right up, like Jolt Leads, CV Core, and Jillo. I'm deliberately kind of switching and butchering the names, but you guys get the point here. These software companies are basically providing you a boxed solution for your business, okay? And what I mean by that is that they provide you a leasing agreement, or they rent you a service. And renting a service as a independent business owner is something that I find extremely diabolical. So I know it's a very tense term to use, but if you're a founder and CEO and you're the front of your business and you're basically renting a vehicle or renting some results from, let's say, companies like Zillow, Realtor.com, then what's happening is that you're basically subscribing to a flywheel effect that's basically putting you into a bidding system. So technically, you don't even own any leads, you don't own any traffic, nobody knows who you actually are, and what you're falling into is you're falling into the marketplace and you're bidding for leads that just have surface level interest. Mind you, with the current trust recession and how much time it takes your buyers and sellers, specifically listings, to actually convert over, you can't just have a surface level interest, or let's say a very short time period with someone that doesn't even know you and they're going to trust you to list their property. Like, they need to know what you're doing. They need to know how much production you've done. They need to understand your expertise. They need to understand your process, and they want to be able to get enough value from you before they actually buy. So when you're opting in for name, number, and email, essentially what you're doing is you're getting people to just wave their hand and expecting them to sign on a contract. Now, mind you guys, right? When we often meet real estate partners and we do our first initial calls, what we realize is that real estate professionals need to put themselves in our shoes as well. It's the same thing. We don't expect real estate professionals to literally jump on our call and be like, hey, we're ready to go. We're going to sign up with your highest deployment funnel and package. Because what we understand is that we're trying to backfill information and make sure that you see the value first before you actually choose to even work with us. Because the reality is that people buy because they have a competent level of information and value before they move forward with a company or a service provider. And if you think with just Facebook ads that you're going to get people that are selling their $1 million properties, literally making the most important decision of their life just by clicking in a lead form, you need to throw in the towel with your license, and this is not for you. And if you're still listening, then that means that you understand what I'm saying, because you've probably already spent literally thousands of dollars on just garbage. But the biggest thing is that if you are not providing value, and if you're not creating face value and just exchanging a level of information through YouTube, which is literally the #1 consumed platform in 2025, before anybody within B2C or B2B environments make a decision to work with you, this is where they're doing it. Mind you, you're 9 minutes into this video and you're literally still watching. Why? Because we're service providers and we need to make sure that we're talking to the right audience and we're literally providing the information to the people we need to speak with. So Long story short, stop renting leads. The more you start renting leads, you're going to spend more time following up. You're going to have less of, you're going to have less fun with your business, and you're going to be miserable because you're speaking to people that don't even want to talk to you. And number three, you're literally just burning your hard-earned money thinking that you're actually growing your business. But what you're doing is you're putting in the wrong fuel. It's like putting in the wrong fuel, like putting diesel into a V8, or let's just say putting in the wrong engine oil into a Ferrari or a Porsche. Like, you can't expect performance and then cut the corner on actually putting in the right things into the business. So number two of this entire process, or number one, the silver lining is ownership, right? Own the things that you're putting into your business, right? Own your CRMs. Own your traffic, your funnels, your website. Just make sure that you have ownership. That's very, very important if you're growing your real estate practice. Now, getting back to the alternative and why we focus on YouTube and why it's the number one leading platform is because this is where majority of people go before they actually choose to book a showing. Like, buyers are going to look at the listing, and listing videos or their virtual tours are listed on YouTube. All properties that are being marketed the right way are being published on YouTube. So guess where buyers are right now? Or for the last couple of years, or more than the last couple of years, they're on YouTube. And guess where, future people that want to sell, where are they looking? They're looking at how certain agents sold this property for over asking, and they're reviewing, the agent's, biography and the value they're putting out on their YouTube channel. So if you're literally just like spending all your time and your content strategy is like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and just keep creating short form reels, that's amazing. But there's a time where you need to distribute content, and there's a time that you need to focus on scale and eyeballs. So once you are able to understand how YouTube works, it's going to work and compound in your favor. And that doesn't mean that you need to sit behind this desk and make videos like this, because literally in order to be successful with YouTube in 2025, all you need is literally 3 or 4 videos. That's it. And guess what? All your videos can be completely created with artificial intelligence. We literally have live examples. And for the partners that actually landed from our funnel to our YouTube channel right now, I'll tell you right off the bat, all those ads in that virtual sales letter is an actual AI clone of myself, right? And we're not trying to hide the fact. Again, we're trying to embrace this technology. We're trying to make our lives easier. And by far, I don't see anybody complaining about it, because it makes your lives easier. Why? Because we're able to speed up the process so we can exchange services and provide value. So moving forward now, advertising is on YouTube, and we'll tell you why YouTube is far more superior for the dollar that you're spending on your business as opposed to Meta. Okay, so with Meta, I feel like Meta was the pioneering frontier of like advertising in like maybe 2005 leading forward. We're in 2025 now, right? So like we're pretty far, around 20 years from that time. Like, we are very far ahead with where advertising gone. So with Facebook, I just want to be very frank that there's a lot of eyeballs on Facebook, but let's just be clear, your future buyer or your future, first-time home buyer is not like just brainlessly scrolling on Instagram. Like, maybe they are, but for the most part, they're not making an intentional decision to learn and educate themselves on that specific thing. You might catch them off guard, but again, abruptive or disruptive marketing is good, but not for real estate all the time. And I'll tell you what I mean by this is that you don't want to simply just catch like very low interest and get like information or buy low interest information from Meta. Like, name, number, and email is just not going to cut it, like I said before, because you're going to spend 3, 4, 5 times more the time trying to differentiate yourself from somebody else's, hey, my list of, buy this list of homes or get these list of homes under X value in your area. Like, it's just overdone, right? And for the most part, the reason why we are completely transitioning away from Facebook is because it's just way too saturated. There are so many realtors that are just putting up the most insane amount of offers, and just there's it's just too loud. There's too much noise in Facebook, and costs are going up. So when we look at the trade-off for our clients and our partners, we don't even spend that much money on Facebook. Why? Because we realize how much more intentional our calls are after someone watches a video just like this. Okay? So again, with YouTube, there are really 5 really important things that you're building. And essentially, the main thing is that we can directly target homeowners. Why tell Facebook to just create an audience and just be like, hey, you know what? We're going to trust the AI. We're going to trust the algorithm. And we're going to allow Facebook to bid our dollar. And by all means, Facebook has probably the most powerful learning systems or algorithms for advertising, but Google is really powerful too. So when you're using YouTube and you have the option to target homeowners, and that's the only thing you're targeting, why would you spend your dollar anywhere else? If you're a listing agent, all you want to do is get in front of people that own a property. I wouldn't even want 5% of my ads going to someone that is like under the 17 or 16 years old. So with Facebook, there's a little bit of a gap in a gray area where you cannot fine tune your traffic and your audience. And I think that's very important. Own your audience, own your traffic, because if you're not even doing that and you're paying for all these services, like you're just basically like you're bidding on the tenth of a dollar to like actually get the results that you want, because you're basically you're not all in on growing your business. You have to understand what it means to create your own advertising assets and sales funnels and run your own traffic. And that's the main thing. But for the most part, videos build authority, okay? Just like you're watching this video right now as well. Like if I'm just about to post like a quick little, short reel, like there's not much value that I can really translate from that video. But as we're 17 minutes into this video right now, like, you guys understand that, information value and screen time is just so important because it builds trust, it builds rapport. And I'm most likely doing something else at this time right now. And I'm able to educate you at your time, at your, convenience, when you feel like you want to learn something. So your clients also want to do the same thing, is that they want to learn who you are. They want to be able to do their due diligence and research you and really understand if they can actually, see themselves working with you. And 99% of the time, like you get pre-sold through just the way that you look like and how you sound and how you get off on, the value that you're putting out. So if you're not able to do that and build authority through videos and you're just like, don't have the time to do that, it's great, it's fine. Use AI now, because you shouldn't have any reason why that you can get screen time and provide value to your prospects and your future buyers and sellers, okay? So again, YouTube is the ultimate authority building platform and trust building mechanism that's self-sustainable and compounds while you sleep. So think about that. Okay. So moving on now, and we're talking about funnels and all that good stuff as well too. It's all great and whatnot. You can use funnels for Facebook as well too. But again, we primarily host our virtual listing letters, sales funnel, but we call it VLLs, which is a virtual listing letter. And essentially it's just basically your pitch, which we're going to get into as well too. But for the most part, when you're actually creating your user-generated content and just, cloning yourself for your VSL, you're following a full script that our team provides to you. So we've basically tested, well over hundreds of thousands of dollars in advertising budget on Meta and predominantly YouTube now with virtual sales letters, and we understand exactly what type of structure and copy needs to be created and layered in for your future buyers and sellers to really understand your messaging and define yourselves as an authority figure that's outside of the traditional, hey, I will make sure I'm the best realtor, or hey, like, I really care for my customers, the old shebang. None of that stuff really matters now, because you really need to build a lot of value. Okay, so when you're talking about pre-selling, you're talking about your funnel, right? Essentially, what you need to do is not just focus on a general opt-in. And I'm going to give you an example like right here. And I'm pretty sure you guys have been seeing things pop up here as well too as I'm talking. But this is really important because you guys need to understand this, that when you are basically running traffic to a landing page, right? You can call it a sales funnel or whatever. But the reality is if you're running traffic to a landing page and you're trying to figure out, okay, cool, how do you convert your traffic? You need to learn how to actually give something in return. You're in a market where you can't just ask someone to buy or sell with you, right? There are steps that you need to take in order for them to really make that, decision independently without you having to ask. And what we call that is, we call them value or trust assets. Okay. So what you want to do is essentially, if you're a listing agent, you want to give away your personal listing guide, which we literally help our clients and our partners construct very easily, and essentially provide some form of CMA, a soft CMA, which again, also our super agent or super intelligence, agent can do for you as well too, completely automated. And when you get people to opt into your funnel, essentially you're providing them a exchange. You're like, hey, this is exactly how you're going to save tens of thousands of dollars, maybe if even a couple $100,000 with these specific guides or specific points to help increase your value of your property. And basically your CMA walks them through exactly how they can match and basically kind of get the best value from their property, just like other properties that may be sold over asking in their area. And if they want to get the same similar results, then you kind of break that down for them. And this is basically providing, instead of you just getting them to book into your calendar, you just be like, hey, do you want this free thing? I can give it to you. And if you'd like, we can email it over. And literally from there, you're going to basically provide them the CMA report. And from there, what's going to happen is they're going to go directly to a second page where they're going to have the opportunity to watch basically what we call a virtual listing letter. Okay. And I'll put an example right here as well too. You get to see it. And essentially it's around a 5 to 10 minute video where you're basically going to break down your value proposition and why people should have a discussion with you in general to talk about how they should prepare to enter in the market if they're selling their property, and making sure that they save a ton of equity and do not burn all of that, that valuable compounding equity for all the years that they've been actually holding their property for, and how they can successfully pull out as much cash as possible. So basically you're framing this call as not as, hey, I'm going to be your brand new listing agent, but hey, let me break down exactly what you need to know irregardless of whether you choose to work with me or not. And I'm going to pull back the curtains on doing that. That's the way that you need to you need to position yourself as a listing agent. If you're not, I'm sorry to tell you, the other listing agents are doing this right now, and this is what defines a premier luxury listing agent to someone that's still trying to figure out how to compete with comps and structuring out their commission structure, thinking that that's how to acquire listings, which is not. Okay, so again, value-driven sales letters in funnels is everything. Seller CMAs is very important. You can call it like an equity unlock playbook. There's, you can literally call it anything, but these are basically like your trust assets. It basically includes like all your reviews, everything that you've done, maybe even some of your YouTube video links as well too. So it basically helps them go down a rabbit hole of like value. So when you do provide them that documentation upon them clicking on your ad, it's pretty simple. Okay. So with that being said, again, I know we're going through this documentation right now too, and my mean of making this is so I can fast track and literally walk you through everything. But again, everything that you need to do is you need to have ownership over all your assets. And we literally screenshot all of the assets that we build for our clients, because if you don't own these things, what's going to happen is when you're jumping from service provider to service provider, you're literally spending money to start from scratch because you can't afford their services again. So when you are looking for the right companies to work with, make sure that they literally give you ownership over all these assets, and you get to understand how to manage and sustain and scale those assets on a consulting level, so you're not bound by marketers and advertisers that are literally just trying to take your money. Okay, so that's literally probably one of the most value stack points in this entire entire thesis here as well. Lastly, what I'd like to talk about is obviously pillar number 3, which is our super executive. We call it the operational brain and the sales brain. Essentially, the capabilities really go as following: is when you're having a pipeline being built and you have all these appointments and leads coming in through this funnel now through YouTube, what's going to happen is that you're going to become operationally bottlenecked. And sometimes, and most of the times, our clients are not actually suffering from acquiring more customers or more contracts. They're suffering from having to fulfill and keeping their service and quality high and very, very, high octane and high percentage. So what this means is that as you acquire more listings, the time that you're going to have to provide the same level of quality service is basically going to thin out. And the only way to make sure that you're not distributing your listings and commissions to other agents is by figuring out how you can be more operationally efficient internally, with your emails, your calendar, managing your leads, assets, documentation, transaction coordination, et cetera, et cetera. If you can make sure that you can have these things internally delegated through your AI agent, which is something we literally build for our clients and we're providing right now. Basically, you're saving tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in commissions, in percentages in the future, because once you scale, you're going to want to give a piece to somebody else so you can make sure that you can provide that quality level of service. So I'm going to walk you through exactly how we're saving also real estate professionals, tens of thousands of dollars a quarter or a year on secretaries, assistants, transaction coordinators, or maybe even SDRs and appointment setters that are literally working in these real estate offices and brokerages. And we're going to walk you through exactly what your own AI executive and super agent can do, and why moving forward in 2025, every real estate professional is going to have their own agent with their own skill sets in tasks that help them become more efficient and highly leveraged. Okay, so inbox triage is literally insane. Like having a agent that can literally give you summaries on clients, your team, legal, general information, and just leads that are coming in, and help you organize and stack that information multiple times through the day and literally inform you on what's going on is probably a very, very cutting edge trick, not even trick, but a time hack, because we've done a lot of interviews and we've looked at a lot of polls. Like the average realtor spends hours and hours a week trying to sift through their email and just go through things and catch up. And then number 2, they're also missing out on key information, and emails are coming in from potential customers, maybe past customers, clients, lawyers, mortgage agents or attorneys, etc. And basically, it's because they're bootstrapped for time. So when you have an inbox, when you have your super agent sitting in your Gmail and your email, your Outlook, and providing you actual real-time updates and prompts, that is the next phase of just managing yourself as an executive. Number 2, calendar control. Okay, we oftentimes know that we need to switch appointments around, and we know that we need to rebook somebody or reschedule somebody. Let's say you have a no-show. Your super agent can literally just handle your calendar for you, and at the end of the day, just all you have to do is just green light yes or no, or just automatically allow your agent to update your calendar as specific events get suggested or canceled or information pops up through your inbox, which is so powerful, because this is the small things through the day that if you're spending way too much time on spinning your wheels on how to try to be as locked in as possible, there's no need to do that. Figure out a way to buy back your time, because that's the only way you're going to really create wealth, is if you buy back your time. You can work as hard as you want. I've done that, and what I've realized is that I'm just proving to myself that I can really work my butt off. But the reality is that the average realtor spends Monday to Sunday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day just trying to figure out how to acquire customers. They spend all their time, spinning their wheels. And for me, unless you're making $500,000 plus a year, and net commissions, like great, go ahead and burn your wheels, because that means you're producing a lot and you'll figure out a way to cut back your time. But if that's not the case and you're still producing less than 100,000, 100K in GCI a year, like you are doing the wrong things in your business. Like you're spending all the wrong time. Okay. Number 3 now, when we're talking about sales capabilities, and this is just, again, very surface level on what the super agent can do for you. And this is lead handling and post and pre-sales operations. So what it means is that for leads that are sitting stale, cold, it will literally create email marketing templates and newsletters and constantly remarket to your leads that aren't active or not responding, dormant, and is literally tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars in commissions that are literally stacked in old leads, but literally realtors just give up on them and don't have a real way to actually get in front of them. And all they keep doing is putting out these like mailers and like boring market updates. Like, dude, just have your AI agent literally write personable emails and actually, follow up with intention and real value, instead of just like asking them whether or not the sky is blue still, because everyone's doing that. Okay. So pipeline hygiene, again, 80% of the people we talk to don't even have a pipeline. But by the time our clients do work with us and they've built a healthy pipeline and we've transferred over older leads, older assets to the new infrastructure that we provide them, they need to make sure that, they're organizing pipeline stages, fields, notes, and updates automatically. And guess what? Your sales agent, which is your super agent, literally knows what to do with your pipeline. So it will autonomously move pipeline, contacts over to different stages. Let's say somebody gets booked in. Let's say someone's offer finally, gets accepted and they're in your lead list. Guess what? It's automatically just being shifted over in your pipeline. And I know a majority of you aren't even doing that right now, because like once an offer goes live and gets accepted, like the first thing in our head is not to go and be like, let's go update our pipeline. The average real estate professional is like, that's it. Let's go grab a drink, right? Let's go celebrate. We just closed the deal, right? So, how you do the small, how you do this, the big things is how you do the small, finite things. And I'm a very big believer in that too. So like if you're not having good pipeline hygiene and you're not managing your pipeline from cold to clients that are converted, and you don't have a proper way of like creating, assets and follow-up sequences that way, and you're just relying on like 365-day nurturing sequences, you're actually killing your leads, because you're just relying on like boring automations and boring emails and things of that nature to build real relationships with your clients. If your AI agent can literally have a human-like response and just like an update or like a follow-up and change things up every single week based on the lead's pipeline stage, it makes your output so much more better. And you do not need to hire anyone to actually sit in your office and do that work for you, or hire other companies to create complex automation structures, because your AI agent or your chatbot is literally going to have the sales competency and a lot more information than the average SDR, beginner realtor, to convert your clients for you. And guess what? They don't consult on real estate. They just provide value and follow up to the point that they can get back on your calendar, or it's time for you to jump back into the conversation. And that's where your agent will hand over, the opportunity to you as well. Lastly, we'll talk about, transaction coordination as well too. Like this is huge, right? And also drafting documentations and agreements. A lot of people will say that they're reluctant to having AI kind of like create these documentations for you, but let's just be honest. All of these documents, or like 90% of them, are all templated, and everyone in every state is pretty much using the same templates and the same documents that are provided by their real estate board or their brokerage. So everyone's documentation and distribution process is like pretty much the same, unless there are amendments and addendums that need to be, stated in these contracts, which guess what? You can sign off on. So your AI agent can literally produce a lease agreement, put out an offer or get an offer sheet ready, and also get a listing agreement or a buyer agreement ready for you instantaneously, literally just by texting it and asking it to do it. And this is the first name and last name of the client and the property address. And it'll draft up 99% of what needs to get done. And all you have to do is fix the fields and send out the contract. And once you get comfortable enough where you're like, hey, you've built enough trust with your AI agent, you know the work that it's doing, and you can look over things. You can literally just instruct your AI agent to send off the document for you as you're driving and as you're doing those processes. And this is literally what TCs do. They also just make sure that they mediate conversations between lawyers, other individuals as well too, to just like ensure that the transactions are going smooth. But the reality is, like, all those those microscopic like emails back and forth, like, we're giving away 2 to 5% of our commission, or like a couple $1,000s just to handle a deal. Whereas literally we can handle those things in-house and keep the experience in-house. Because let's be honest with you, your clients don't want to deal with your transaction coordinator. They want to deal with you. So if your transaction coordinator is following up to get signatures or to do different things, it really doesn't help, the experience, because again, real estate's all about being personable. But if you can have that stuff dealt with autonomously on the background and just working with you in conjunction, and you don't have to spend thousands of dollars on salaries, then you're literally going to be saving so much more money every year as a team leader or brokerage owner or high production agent on keeping things in-house. Okay, so having this AI super executive is literally mandatory moving forward as well. But again, the whole process about this is literally going to be talking about why ownership is important and why renting these assets is absolutely garbage. And if you're still, struggling to understand why YouTube is better than Facebook right now, then I would really suggest rewinding this video back and taking a look at the 3 to 4 core components. But for the most part, this documentation is completely free. I'm going to link it in the bio description below. And if you want to get access to it and you want to literally see everything, it's a 35-page thesis, and literally you can go see the entire process, step by step, and you can follow it. If you want it, go ahead, download it. It's absolutely free. And if you found that this was valuable, and you want to get our help on actually figuring out how you can launch your own as well too, you can literally just go underneath that PDF link and you can book a call with one of our team members or myself, as we would love to see how we can help you out. And if it's a good fit, of course, we're always looking for different realtors and partners in various zip codes, because again, we're very one-on-one with our consulting, and we only take on a limited amount of deployments, since we are limited to the amount of people that we can actually advertise for with our YouTube bidding strategy, which is very proprietary and exclusive. So if you want to know exactly how you can get success with this, start off with a PDF. And if you guys want to actually jump on a call with us, feel free to do that. Again, guys, my name is Amar Buller, and I'm the founder and CEO of Instagents. And if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.